what do you want to talk about today?
Ooh, we should talk about our favorite movies.
Oh, our favorite movies.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm into that. What do you say? Top 6 and then our favorite movie together?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to start? Mm-hmm. All right. Number 6 on my list
Okay.
of favorite movies. And let's start somewhere else. Let's start, instead of number 6,
okay.
let's start with how I came up with my list.
Yeah. What are the parameters?
The parameters for me weren't, is this a universally beloved movie or is this a really well-made movie? The parameter for me was, is this a movie that if I'm on a sleepy Sunday flipping through the channels, or looking through Netflix and it's on, am I going to watch it?
Yeah.
Or do I want to watch it? How many times can I watch this? Yeah. Will I ever get sick of watching this?
Yeah.
So that's how I made my list.
Okay.
How'd you make your list?
Yeah, that.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't even
We didn't even
talk
talk
that.
about it.
Okay.
We just did it individually.
Yeah, if I can watch it over and over and over again without getting sick of it, it goes on the list.
Right. Okay. So here's what I think we should do for this.
Okay.
I think we'll alternate our movies.
Okay.
I will say the title of my movie, or you'll say the title of your movie, and then I'll say some facts about it, like the date that it was released, and then I'll read the synopsis and the storyline synopsis off of IMDb so that there can be some foundation for discussion. And then we'll discuss each movie.
Okay.
What we like about it, what we don't like about it, if the other person thinks it's stupid.
Okay.
So here we go.
Okay.
Number 6 for me,
Okay.
Pitch Perfect.
What? You were supposed to take this serious.
I'm taking this very seriously. Pitch Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go into this in a second. 2012 is when that movie was released. And on IMDb, this is the tagline in the header. Becca, a freshman at Barden University, is cajoled into joining the Bellas, her school's all-girl singing group. Injecting some much-needed energy into their repertoire, the Bellas take on their male rivals in a campus competition. So I think that's like, yeah, but it doesn't really tell you much, right? So here's the actual storyline synopsis from IMDb. The Barden Bellas are a collegiate all-girls a cappella singing group thriving on female pop songs and their perfect looks. After a disastrous failing at last year's finals, they are forced to regroup. Among the new recruits is freshman Becca, an independent, aspiring DJ with no interest in the college life. But after she meets Jesse from the rival all-male a cappella group, Becca has a new outlook and takes it upon herself to help the Bellas find their new look and sound and get back into the competition.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I know that makes the movie sound stupid. But here's the thing. I love musicals. Mm-hmm. They are one of my favorite types of entertainment. I love people who can sing.
Yeah.
Like if you can sing, I automatically have a crush on you. Right? Like, because it's just it's this thing that I wish I could do, but I can't really do it. Like I F around a little bit, but I can't really sing, right? Mm-hmm. But people who can sing and who are talented singers, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Just so cool. Mm-hmm. So I love musicals.
Yeah.
And this first Pitch Perfect, the other Pitch Perfects are okay. They're fine. They're not as good. But this one is like a really good comedy movie. And it's a musical, right?
Right.
And so I just like it. I just like it a lot. It has nothing to do with whether or not it's a great movie or if it's going to be on anybody else's lists. I just think that whenever that movie's on, I'll watch it. Right?
Yeah.
It's a movie that I enjoy and I take great joy from, right? Mm-hmm. If Marie Kondo were to come over and be like, let's go through your movie collection, I'd be like, well, this one brings me joy, and I'd keep it.
Right. Okay.
Right? I think that it's
Perfectly reasonable.
It's a perfect example of what a musical, like a popcorn musical, can be, right?
Okay.
It's not going to win any awards, right? But it's got that kind of like feel good bop to it, right? Like if you're feeling down, it can cheer you up.
Okie dokie.
All right. You know,
It's so cute. But
what do you feel about it? How do you feel about this movie?
I like Fat Amy. I think she's the funniest part of it all.
Fat Amy is hilarious.
She's like,
yeah.
better not.
It is really good. Yeah. I like Fat Amy a lot too. I also like, I just like all of the characters, right? Like it's not just.
Yeah, because we all know those kind of people.
Right.
Somewhere, somehow.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a good movie. And it's my number 6 on a list of movies that I could watch over and over again.
Yeah.
Not the best movies of all time, but movies I can watch over and over again.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to.
So what's your number 6?
Okay. All right. Now. Brave.
Brave by Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great movie. Brave came out in 2012 as well.
Ooh.
So our number 6s are kind of competing with each other.
Okay.
Right? They're on the same level.
I don't think so.
All right, here's the brief synopsis and then the storyline synopsis.
Okay.
Determined to make her own path in life, Princess Merida defies a custom that brings chaos to her kingdom. Granted one wish, Merida must rely on her bravery and her archery skills to undo a beastly curse. Ooh. That one's a little bit better than the Pitch Perfect one. Set in Scotland in a rugged and mythical time, this movie features Princess Merida, played by Kelly MacDonald, an inspiring archer and impetuous daughter of Queen Eleanor. Merida makes a reckless choice that unleashes unintended peril and forces her to spring into action to set things right. She turned her mom into a bear.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. So what about Brave draws you in?
On a few different levels. One, anything Scotland, I'm in.
Aye.
Except for the food. But now I heard that there's a vegan movement, so I'm all for it. Let's go for it.
The food's not that bad. It's just kind of bland, right?
And it's like sheep,
a lot of sheep.
a lot of sheep stomach. I'm not into it. Not going to talk about it.
I don't think that's that true in 2020, right? Like that's more of like a.
No, there's still some traditionalists.
Oh,
going.
really?
Anyways, anything Scottish, set me up. Next, I've been an impetuous daughter.
Wait. Anything Scottish?
Yeah, almost.
So including Fat Bastard from Austin Powers?
Well, no, gross.
Get in my belly.
Ew, Barb.
Peas and carrots.
Ew, stop. Gross. That's disgusting.
Go ahead.
No.
Yes.
So, I've been a terrible daughter, and then now I have a little girl. And so when it first came out, I was, we only had 3 boys.
Right.
And so I didn't really connect to it as much as I do now.
Yeah, that's right. Brave did come out.
Yeah.
Before Fred, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now I have a little girl that's running around being all crazy, and I'm like, no weapons on the table. And
yeah, because she's kind of a tough little girl, right?
She's a toughie,
yeah,
which I'm okay with.
What was she wearing the other day?
She was wearing those boxing gloves and her backpack,
right?
And riding her trike around the kitchen.
So she was geared up for the apocalypse.
She was geared up for something. I don't know what it was, but
sorry,
she was geared up for something.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think Brave, although Brave is, spoiler, not on my list, I think that it's one of the better Pixar Disney mashups, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a full on Disney princess movie, and it's not a full on Pixar movie, but it's like right when they were starting to figure out their relationship together.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful film.
Yeah.
I really love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great one. All right. So we're gonna go back and forth on this list. So you're gonna do number 5 first.
Ooh, okay.
So what's your number 5?
Number 5 is The Matrix.
The Matrix. Yes.
The first one.
Okay. Before we go in to the synopsis and when this was made, I want to say that The Matrix is one of the movies that we went together when we first had our own place. And we went out to the movies together. It was after Liam was born. It's like 1 year after Liam's born.
Yeah.
And we went out to the movies. And when we came out of the movies, you were so hyped from that movie. I was like hyped from the movie, but you were like, hell yeah. Like you were like, this is the best movie ever. So it came out in 1999. And here's the stuff from IMDb. A computer hacker learns from mysterious rebels about the true nature of his reality and his role in the war against its controllers. That could be any movie.
Yeah,
That's The Net with Sandra Bullock. Here's the storyline synopsis. Thomas A. Anderson is a man living two lives. By day, he's an average computer programmer, and by night, a hacker known as Neo. Neo has always questioned his reality, but the truth is far beyond his imagination. Neo finds himself targeted by the police when he is contacted by Morpheus, a legendary computer hacker branded a terrorist by the government. As a rebel against the machines, Neo must confront the agents, super powerful computer programs devoted to stopping Neo and the entire human rebellion. Ooh. So what is it that got you on that night in 1999, got you so hyped?
Okay, one, Keanu Reeves.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Total badass.
I know. I get the whole whoa, right? But I don't know. There's just something about him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's cool. And to also, I'm pretty proud of him because to hear, he's probably older than me. Isn't he older than me?
Yeah.
I can still be proud of people older than me. Okay.
I think he might be older than me even.
He's just a nice guy also,
Yeah.
too. And so nobody has anything mean to say about him ever.
No.
Which just helps, you know.
Yeah. I think he's almost 50 or
into his 50s.
Into his 50s. But to watch him in interviews and stuff, he still has that youthful air that he had back in the Bill and Ted days.
Yeah, and he's just sweet and kind. And then it was all about the, free your mind and don't believe what people are telling you. You got to feel it on your own. And there was very something Buddhist
Yeah, we were
to it.
Around that time we were starting to explore our spirituality and belief systems, and
it's also one of our first dates.
Yeah,
after
and that
Liam was born.
That movie came out and kind of went, oh, well, that all lines up with some stuff we've already been thinking about. Yeah, I love that movie too.
Yeah.
Again, spoilers not on my list.
Is this going to be the thing where I've got basically the dude list, and you've got the chick flicks?
No. My list is fine.
Okay, because I'm going to be very upset.
My list is totally fine.
Oh, no.
All right.
It is. I'm a bra girl.
No.
As our boys say.
Number 5.
Oh, man.
For my number 5, I chose a under-the-radar film from 2001 called Heist.
Ooh.
It stars Gene Hackman, and I will explain why I think this is the greatest heist movie ever made. But first, the IMDb. A career jewel thief finds himself at tense odds with his longtime partner, a crime boss who sends his nephew to keep watch. What? That could be any movie. Huh?
I don't
Some
like
of these
any
are
of
too
these.
terse.
Yeah,
They're too terse.
I don't like any of them.
Joe Moore has a job he loves. He's a thief. His job goes sour when he gets caught on security camera tape. His fence, Bergman, reneges on the money he's owed, and his wife may be betraying him with the fence's young lieutenant. Moore and his partner Bobby Blaine and their utility man Pinky Pincus find themselves broke, betrayed, and blackmailed. Moore is forced to commit his crew to do one last big job.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this movie has Gene Hackman in it. When I went to look this up, I remember this movie from the 80s, I thought. But it came out in 2001.
Oh my God. Isn't it weird how things nowadays feel like it's been the 80s, but it wasn't?
I mean, it's 19 years ago, so might as well have been the 80s.
Still, I know, but you go, that was 10 years ago. That was sometime in the 90s. No.
No.
Nope.
No. It was 2010.
You're old. You're old, man. That's what's happening.
So this movie, it's a classic double-cross heist movie.
One last job.
Right. But it's acted so well. Gene Hackman, say whatever you want about the guy as a person, that's fine. But he's a really good character actor. Mm-hmm. And then all of the other people that got to support him in the role. It was a good movie. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is that the end, you think something's going to happen and then something else happens and then dun it. It's 4 more twists and you're like, what? Oh. And so it just gets you. And every time I watch it, I'm like, come on for that twist. Let's go. Oh yeah. Every time, right? It just hypes me up. I love that movie. I can watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's, I like heist movies generally speaking, right? I like movies where it's they pulled a fast one. They pulled a fast one on authority, or they're kind of modern day Robin Hood type things, right? Except for not exactly true because they're not taking the things they steal and giving it away to less fortunate people, but it's kind of like the whole idea of that somebody's got something they don't deserve.
Right.
And these people swoop in and take that, and then
So it doesn't feel as bad when they're doing crimes.
right.
Yeah, you don't feel dirty for watching it.
Yeah, you
Somebody-
don't feel bad for rooting for like a thief.
Yeah, the quote unquote bad guy of it.
Right. But
So what was
I
your
like the
what
movie.
was your favorite part? That's what we've been missing to say now. We forgot these.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite part?
My favorite part of the movie is the twists at
The
end-
twisties?
at the end. There's a couple of parts like in the middle that are just really well acted. They're great actory scenes, right, between like Hackman and the other actors. But the twists every single time, like the whole time I'm watching the movie. First of all, I want to make it very clear: there's no boring parts of the movie. There's no parts where I check out.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm like, get to the twist, right? Like I need that payoff. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen The Heist and you're listening to this, whatever year it is in the future, it's well worth watching. It's a good movie.
I think I remember seeing it. The only thing that pops up into my head when you say it is like maybe Gene Hackman laying on a bed and talking, like doing a monologue of some kind.
That could be any movie.
That could be any Gene Hackman movie.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
but
I
no,
know.
you have seen it.
He's like wearing a
because
white suit.
there is a point where he's wearing a white suit, yes.
Okay.
I don't want to go too deep because
yeah, I
I don't want to give away the twist, because the twist is the real
Well,
gem.
we're gonna have to watch it now to celebrate these.
Well, you have
our
watched
list.
it.
No, but like again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, we definitely should. But I rented it because I think I was telling you about it one time and you're like, oh, I've never seen that. So I rented it and we watched it, but we can rent it again. I think it's even probably on like Amazon, or I probably should have looked that up to tell our viewers. I'll put that in the show notes. I'll look
Okay.
it up afterwards and I'll put in the show notes if you can watch these movies for free online.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So my number 4, because we're
Yeah.
snake drafting here. So we go straight to 4. My number 4 is Memento.
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 Oh.
Which came out in 2000. And if you don't know what it is, here's a summary.
Ooh.
A man with short-term memory loss attempts to track down his wife's murderer.
Okay. I'm gonna go with what?
That one is so brief. Here's the storyline. Memento chronicles 2 separate stories of Leonard, an ex-insurance investigator who can no longer build new memories. As he attempts to find the murderer of his wife, which is the last thing he remembers, one storyline moves forward in time while the other tells the story backwards, revealing more each time. So I love this movie strictly because of the way the story is told, where you're watching the movie in real time going forward, but the flashbacks, or wait, is it the other direction?
I think you watch it from the. It's like the story's end, but our beginning.
Yeah, I can't remember now. I should have watched this ahead of time. But anyways,
It's told in a very.
it's told in one direction, and then the flashbacks are going the opposite direction, and they meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they continue out to the end of the movie. And it's just such a fascinating story. Mm-hmm. Right?
I like it when movies do things that we've not seen before.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super interesting. And he has all these little tattoos all over his body that are
like-
reminding him
Yeah, to remind him
of
about
the stuff he's forgotten, because he's forgetting every day
He's
waking up.
He's going backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's
been a long
cool.
time since I've seen it. I want to watch it again, but it's definitely one of my favorite movies. I could watch it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. There's some really tense moments. Oh, fun fact. The character in The Matrix that plays the guy who betrays the team also plays a betrayer in this movie.
Oh, the guy who plays Cypher.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Joey Pants.
Yeah, Joey. But
That's
yeah.
his nickname.
Yeah.
I think it's Pantaloons, something like
It's
that.
not Pantaloons. It's
No,
not.
he's a great actor. It's not Pantaloons. I don't remember what his actual last name is, but he plays in both movies. He plays like the bad guy, but I think
Yeah.
he gets typecast as the bad guy a lot because he's kind of got that vibe.
Well, he was in all the Bad Boy movies too as the sergeant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
he was their chief or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So I like that movie. Do you like Memento?
Yeah, I like that movie. It's very hard to like. It's one of those ones where
You got to pay attention.
you have to pay attention. It's
Yeah.
not a chill out and look at your phone
No,
kind of
no.
movie. It's a put your phone down, look, watch, pay
Really
attention.
watch this movie. Yeah.
Take notes if you gotta.
Don't watch it if you're tired.
No, yeah, you gotta start it early.
Yeah.
Like make a note. Start early as soon as the kids
Just
go to bed.
tattoo that on you. Start this movie early.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's I don't want to talk out of school here. I should have wrote this down. I think it's Christopher Nolan.
That's what it says.
Oh man.
with Guy Pearce.
Yeah, that's the movie. All right.
Memento also has Carrie-Anne Moss in it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I forgot. I should. That would have been a better
Yeah,
connection.
Yeah, it's Joey Pants and Carrie-Anne Moss.
What's his last name?
Pantoliano.
Pantiliano.
Yeah.
He's Italian. I don't know if we pronounced that right.
What?
Pantoliano.
Pantoliano.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Pantoliano.
I don't think I've ever heard.
Pantoliano.
I always hear him call
Joey
himself
Pants.
Joey Pants.
There
yeah.
we go. His name is Joey Pants.
Yeah, that movie does have Carrie-Anne Moss in it. That's correct.
As Natalie.
Yep, I completely spaced that. That would have been a better connection to Matrix.
We'll do it in post.
That would have been a better, less spoilery. If you've never seen that movie. Okay, so your number 4 is
Return of the Jedi.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That is almost blasphemous. So you're saying out of all the Star Wars movies, that's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get into that. 1983. I was like 9.
I was 5.
Ew, I'm gross.
Stop.
Return of the Jedi. After a daring mission to rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt, the rebels dispatched to Endor to destroy the second Death Star. Meanwhile, Luke struggles to help Darth Vader back from the dark side without falling into the Emperor's trap. So that's pretty close.
Yeah.
But here's the storyline synopsis. Luke Skywalker battles Jabba the Hutt and Darth Vader to save his comrades in the Rebel Alliance and triumph over the Galactic Empire. Han Solo and Princess Leia reaffirm their love and team with Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, and the Ewoks, and droids C-3PO and R2-D2 to aid in the disruption of the dark side and the defeat of the evil Emperor. Ooh. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Palpatine. So why Return of the Jedi, I think, is pretty universally regarded as the worst of the original
Oh, really?
trilogy.
I didn't know this.
It's because of the Ewoks, I think.
But.
I love the Ewoks. I'm not saying that it's the worst. I really like the movie, but I think, generally speaking, in the fandom generally, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, of the 3 original movies, because Empire Strikes Back is one of those highly regarded films, right?
Yes.
So then it's really hard for Return of the
know.
Jedi to compete against that.
And okay, so I'll tell you why. It's because I really love the original trilogy, A New Hope and The Empire.
Yeah.
I love those are my jam. I love them to pieces, and
They're
I've watched
wonderful.
all the other ones
Yeah.
too.
Who shot first?
Of course, it was Han. But
We're just being really controversial on this.
what?
Everybody has an opinion on the who shot
Oh,
first.
whatever. It's because
I also think it was Han.
okay. Because I like a comeback story.
Yeah.
I like a finale that's got some warm fuzzies.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got I like the Ewoks. I always have. I
do
always
too.
will.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna talk me out of it. I think that if you could come back from being frozen in carbonite and separated and your whole planet blown up and all that stuff and still find love, still find a reason to smile, still find, some closure, what's it called? Some, just some peace
Yeah.
to this whole 8 or 9 year period of chaos, right?
Yeah.
I think every character in that finds all of those things to a degree. And I just like that. I like the end where
They get the medals.
yeah, they get that's not Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's at the end of A New Hope that they get that. Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't
No,
it?
Yes, you're right.
The end of Return of the Jedi is when they're all in the Ewok village celebrating.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
And they look over.
I'm such
and,
an idiot.
They see all the ghosties, right? They see
Yeah.
all the enlightened beings now.
So do you feel
And now
like,
Anakin's there.
Yeah.
And I like it. It makes me feel good that
Well, do you like that they added Anakin, the young version of Anakin later, or do you prefer it to be the
okay, so
original?
I have seen both. We own the whatever it's called, the remastered blah blah blah. But I remember seeing the original, and I wish because they have old Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Yeah.
they should have older Anakin,
Yeah.
not the new guy, because he didn't die as a young person. He
Right.
died as an older person.
Yeah.
They didn't put Anakin they didn't put Obi-Wan Kenobi as a young person in there.
No, they didn't.
So he should have been older, and I like the original. I still remember watching the original one with you and on cassette or VHS cassette, right?
Yeah.
But all that's available now is the remastered. So, I mean, but I like the idea of them honoring his memory because he did whatever.
Yeah.
I like it. I like a comeback story. I like being down and out, but then still rising from those ashes and kicking ass and making peace with your dad, spirit or whatever. And I like finding love, and I like, the furry little creatures with the bones on their
So when I was a child, Return of the Jedi was my favorite as well. And it's because it was the first time that we really got to see some Jedi fighting.
Yeah.
Right? When Luke comes back and he helps rescue Han and the, is that Empire now? Where they're on the barge with Boba Fett. That's Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm thinking about in my head. But yeah, I loved that too. Now that I'm adult, it's not my favorite Star Wars movie.
Right.
But it was when I was a child because for this exact same reasons.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear about the whole Ewok hatred until years and years later.
I think it's silly. Here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I don't know how old I was, but I was not a little kid. I was more like a preteen or a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
For Christmas one year, my grandmother had sent me an Ewok, but she cut, it was still in the packaging, but she cut the cardboard around it so that it was easier to wrap. So it was still sealed in the plastic bit, but the cardboard was completely gone.
So it was wrecked.
Yeah.
It was ruined.
Yeah,
Was
but
it
it was
Wicket?
Wicket.
Yeah,
it was Wicket.
Wicket. Yeah.
I think I still have him.
I think
but
that's
he's not
everybody's.
He's not worth jack anymore because she
No, 'cause
cut
she
the cardboard out of it.
Card.
Well, whatever. I like the Ewoks. I don't care. They
The
put
Ewoks are
time and
awesome.
effort. All those people and those very that's a lot of good acting and
I love the Ewoks. I don't care what anybody says. Fun fact, my favorite episode of Star Wars is The Phantom Menace. Moving along.
What? You liar.
It is. What is your number 3 movie?
Okay, now switching gears just a little bit here.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a Quentin Tarantino movie on number 3?
Yeah, I think Bryce would be proud of me.
I think he would too.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. It's a great movie.
I have the dude list, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
It came
going-
out in 2009.
Ooh.
Here's the IMDb parts.
Okay.
Now, I didn't read these before, so I want to just... All right.
Is there swearing? Please tell me there's swearing.
I don't know. We're going to just have to find out on the fly. Listeners, I am reading these on the fly. I've never read them before. And so
Did
I
not
feel
pre-
like I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Let's hear
In
it.
Nazi-occupied France during World War II, a plan to assassinate Nazi leaders by a group of Jewish U.S. soldiers coincides with the theater owner's vengeful plans for the same. That's pretty close.
Yeah, I think so.
It leaves out a good deal. So here's the synopsis, story synopsis. In German-occupied France, young Jewish refugee Shoshana Dreyfus witnesses the slaughter of her family by Colonel Hans Landa, narrowly escaping with her life. She plots her revenge several years later when German war hero Friedrich Zoller takes a rapid interest in her and arranges an illustrious movie premiere at the theater she now runs. With the promise of every major Nazi officer in attendance, the event catches the attention of the Bastards, a group of Jewish-American guerrilla soldiers led by the ruthless Lieutenant Aldo Rain. As the relentless executioners advance, the conspiring young girl's plans are set in motion. Their paths will cross for a fateful evening that will shake the very annals of history.
Ooh.
It's a great movie. Why do you like it?
Okay, because...
Because of the Nazi killing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like bad guys getting away with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of them very much did
In reality.
in reality.
Yeah.
So if you give me a movie, first of all, if you give me a movie with Brad Pitt, I'm gonna be okay with that. and then Christoph Waltz is a very good actor.
Oh, he's incredible.
I know that he's kind of a bad guy,
Yeah.
but he's a very good actor. But there's just some dudes in this world that don't have expiration dates.
Right.
And I think Brad Pitt is one of those.
Okay, that's
Like-
for another episode.
Okay. All right.
Let's do
okay.
that on
okay.
another
But
episode.
you give me a cool character,
Right.
some great acting, and then you kill Nazis. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't like hatred of any kind whatsoever, other than my own, because it's very well guided, I believe.
Yes.
I don't like bad guys getting away with stuff. I like them being punished.
Yeah.
And I think this movie is spot on.
So it's less about like Tarantino's writing
Well, no.
or
okay.
the acting. It's more about the idea that,
Yes. For
that
me, for
this group
yeah.
of horrific actors got their due.
Horrific actors. Yeah.
Well, historically they were horrific
Oh, I
and
get
they
it.
acted on their
Oh, yeah.
basest desires, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Tarantino movies are a complete separate genre of their own, I believe.
Absolutely, yeah.
I believe you have like scary movies and you have rom-coms and you have comedy movies and then you have Tarantino movies.
Oh, yeah.
You have to judge them based on their own. I love those movies on their own, but
yeah.
comparatively,
Well, a lot of
they're
them
hard. They're
a lot
hard
of
to
them-
watch for me.
They're hard to watch.
Yeah, because it's very extreme in lots of different categories.
Right, he takes it to the limit a lot of times.
Yeah, and that can be great.
Yeah.
And with this movie, it's my top, 3. It's my third one.
It's your
It's my top 10 movie. Yes, I like it.
So I'm a huge fan of Tarantino. We own all of his movies because of me. I've watched
Yeah.
all of them multiple times, including Jackie Brown. Don't at me.
Oh,
I think
boy.
Jackie Brown's pretty good. But I don't have any Tarantino movies on my list.
Oh, what? What do you have on your list, man? Jeepers. Okay.
I just,
All right.
it felt too obvious to me for me to put Tarantino.
Okay, I get it.
For you, it's shocking. Like
Is
I'm
it?
like, wow.
No, it's not.
Well, just because I know that you enjoy watching them, but I feel for you it's more like I'm glad I watched that, but I don't think I'd watch that again. But you have watched Inglourious Basterds several times.
Yeah.
And it is one of the better movies. I think like if you were going to rank them, Kill Bill bubbles to the top, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love those movies too. Yeah.
Yeah, but Inglourious Basterds is floating right up there.
Yeah.
And speaking of floating,
Okay.
my number 3, Big Fish.
Oh, man. Yep.
It's a movie from 2003. And this is what IMDb says. A frustrated son tries to determine the fact from fiction in his dying father's life.
That's it. Okay.
All right, but here's the actual storyline synopsis. United Press international journalist Will Bloom and his French freelance photojournalist wife Josephine Bloom, who is pregnant with their first child, leave their Paris base to return to Will's hometown of Ashton, Alabama. On the news of his father, Edward Bloom, stricken with cancer, will soon die, he being taken off chemotherapy treatment. This is badly written.
Yeah, apparently.
Let's try this. I will rewrite it as I read it. Or maybe not. I'll just read this. When Edward Bloom becomes ill, his son, William, travels to be with him. William has a strained relationship with Edward because his father has always told exaggerated stories about his life. And William thinks he's never really told the truth, even on his deathbed. Edward recounts fantastical anecdotes. When William, who is a journalist, starts to investigate his father's tales, he begins to understand the man and his penchant for storytelling.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So this movie, for me, like I have father issues, like big time, right?
Yeah.
I had a very strained relationship with my own dad. Almost my entire relationship with him was strained. There was a period right after Liam was born where my relationship with him improved. Mm-hmm. We didn't live with him for very long, and after we moved on, it became strained again, and then other events happened and he passed away. But this movie has always family legend is that whenever I watch this movie, I end up under a blanket sobbing uncontrollably.
We call it the big fish cry.
Because the big fish cry, right?
Yeah.
So, and any movie that makes me cry, we call it big fish crying.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much father-son happening in this movie, and it just, I don't know.
It gets you because
It gets me right in the feels.
because
big time.
you're a son.
Yeah.
And you had a father, and you ended up making peace with him in the end before he passed.
Yeah.
And now you're a father, and now you have sons. And so it hits you right in the heart. It hits you right in the feels every single time. Even reading the synopsis, it hits you because you're a daddy and you're a son. You've been a son.
I think part of it too is that my dad was a bit of a bullshitter.
Yeah. He had his stories, and
Yeah.
he also had his addictions, like the dad in this.
And then another part of the movie is that it's fantastical.
Yeah.
And it's beautifully filmed and directed and acted.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor.
So it's not just this story that leads up to this point where I fall apart. It's
Yeah.
also this very engaging movie to watch.
Yeah.
Over and over again. I've watched it so many times. I watched it with Bryce, and he claims I big fish cried at the end, but I held it together.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
I held it together. I can't cry in front of the boy.
I don't believe you.
So,
I don't
anyways, Big Fish, number 3.
Oh,
Love it. I don't want to talk more about it because I already feel myself getting a little
you are
emotional.
yeah.
You know, that movie reminds me of my dad, but it also reminds me of my relationship with my 3 boys.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. It's all connected.
Well, my number 2
Oh gosh.
is Inside Out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that came out in 2015.
We both have an animated on
Yeah.
our cute.
And our animateds both relate to our daughter.
Oh, yeah.
After Riley is
here we go.
uprooted from her Midwest life and moved to San Francisco, her emotions, joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness, conflict on how best to navigate a new city, house, and school. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
But here's the story synopsis. Growing up can be a bumpy road, and it's no exception for Riley, who is uprooted from her Midwest life when her father starts a new job in San Francisco. Like all of us, Riley is guided by her emotions, joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness. The emotions live in headquarters, the control center inside Riley's mind, where they help advise her through everyday life. As Riley and her emotions struggle to adjust to a new life in San Francisco, turmoil ensues in headquarters. Although joy, Riley's main and most important emotion, tries to keep things positive, the emotions conflict on how best to navigate a new city, house, and school. Sounds like somebody wrote both of those. Same person.
Exactly.
So Inside Out came out the year that Fred was born.
Did it really?
Yeah, 2015. And it's a story about a little girl growing up
And her emotions.
and her emotions and how her parents interact with her and how, you know, there's a big change in her life and then she has to deal with that. And it's just like, I don't know that I've ever cried more at a cartoon, right? Like I cry at most Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Like most of them get me.
Yeah, all
Right.
of them get me.
But this one had me from like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, because
A real music of the heart situation.
yeah.
And I couldn't hold it together. And I think it's because Fred was so new.
Yeah.
And so I was starting to feel a connection to her. And this movie had this girl kind of trying to figure herself out.
Yeah.
And I started to look ahead. I started to look into the future and say, what kind of dad am I going to be, you know, for her? Am I going to recognize when she starts having these
Inner turmoil.
inner
and-
turmoil? Yeah. Am I going to recognize it? Did I recognize it with the boys? Do I recognize it with the boys?
Yeah.
And I like to think I'm pretty empathetic and I can kind of key in when somebody's not feeling their best. Mm-hmm. But I'm wrong a lot. But it just reminds me a lot of her. And so it holds a very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we waited a long time before we had her. We were waiting for her. I think that's how
Yeah.
I have to see it like that, is that we had babies when we were young and we've waited a long time for Freddie
Yeah.
to come into our lives. And she's only 4 going on 5 very soon.
Yeah.
So it's still really new
Yeah.
for us to have her. She's very much like the boys in lots of ways, but there are those girly moments where you're like, what is this? Where is this coming from?
My favorite thing is when she goes, Daddy, look. And I look, and then she just flexes and goes, I'm strong.
Oh, and she makes the muscles.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so adorable. I want her to be that. I want her to feel that always.
yeah.
Anyways, all right. What's your number 2?
Okay. All right. Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet or Romeo plus Juliet?
Romeo plus Juliet is the Baz Luhrmann
Yeah.
one.
From 1996.
Oh my goodness.
So this movie is also a date movie
Yes.
and before Liam.
Way before, before we had kids and our own place and all that.
So Shakespeare's famous play is updated to the hip modern suburb of Verona, still retaining its original dialogue. Great. Thanks, IMDb.
Just amazing.
The classic story of Romeo and Juliet, set in the modern-day city of Verona Beach, the Montagues and the Capulets are two feuding families whose children meet and fall in love. They have to hide their love from the world because they know that their parents will not allow them to be together. There are obstacles on the way, like Juliet's cousin Tybalt and Romeo's friend Mercutio, and many fights. But although it is set in modern times, it is still the same timeless story of the star-crossed lovers. So what do you like about this one? Why is this one over any other Romeo and Juliet?
I really like that they kept William Shakespeare's words
Yeah.
and the wording of it, but they modernized it.
Right.
Like, instead of "get me my sword, woman," she gets him his gun.
Right.
And like, it's really cool, like California beach, whatever. And I don't know. I just like it a lot. I don't
Does
know.
it have anything to do with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Okay, he's another one of those. He's another one of those guys that may or may not. I haven't decided on him yet whether
Yeah.
or not he has an expiration date. I'm gonna go with yes on that one because he was really cute in 1996.
But he also has an expiration date for his girlfriends.
Okay, we're not gonna go into that one, but Claire Danes has always been a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
And the acting was really cool in it, but it was all modernized. So it was like modern clothing and like.
Well,
it's
modern
just-
for 1996.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And the soundtrack gets me, and it's just super cool. I like
It
it
is
a
a really
lot.
cool movie. I like it too. I dig it a lot. I can't watch it over and over again, but it's only because like I have to really focus on that language,
Mm-hmm.
right? Shakespeare's words were so like poetic.
Yeah.
But you have to be in the mood. You have to be focused.
Right.
So sometimes like if I'm watching it,
but just visually, it's
right.
great.
It's similar to, I think for me, it's similar to like watching a movie with subtitles because it's in its native language.
Yeah.
I can't read fast enough and watch what's going on.
Right.
So it just becomes a hard experience for me. It's not a fun experience. So like I missed out on Parasite because I just can't. I can't read it and watch it at the same time. I just can't do
I
it.
see. That's another great movie.
But I can't do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm not like, I don't like anything not in English. It's
Right.
that I physically can't read and watch at the same time.
Yeah, it takes practice. I think I've gotten better with it because Bryce is suggesting anime movies
Right, he's
and
really
shows
into
to me,
anime and stuff,
which
yeah.
has been great.
Yeah.
We should do one on that.
Okay.
Because I think it's one of those things where you have to strengthen that muscle.
Yeah, I mean, if I practiced it, I'm sure I could get better at it over time. It's just
Yeah.
that it becomes this thing where I'm like, oh, that's not really enjoyable for me.
Right.
Right? I would
Yeah.
rather watch a dub with really bad lip syncing so that I can enjoy
make-
the filmmaking
Yeah.
and also understand what the plot is.
Yeah, they make those.
They do, but
They
I don't
do.
think Parasite has one, right?
I don't know. We'll have to look into that one.
If it does, I'll watch it.
Okay.
All right, so now we're to the number one slot.
Okay.
Number one.
And then now it's back to you, right?
No, it's you.
Well, me.
Yeah, you get to go first for your number one.
Okay, all right. So let me get this title correct. It is Birds of Prey, The Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Love it.
that's a
Love
fairly
it.
recent movie. In fact, that's 2020, is it not?
Love it. Yes.
You love it.
Love it.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. After splitting with the Joker, Harley Quinn joins superheroes Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya to save a young girl from an evil crime lord. That's pretty close.
That is a good one, yeah.
Twisted tale told by Harley Quinn herself when Gotham's most nefariously narcissistic villain, Roman Sionis, and his zealous right hand, Zaz, put a target on a young girl named Cass, and the city is turned upside down looking for her. Harley, Huntress, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya's paths collide, and the unlikely foursome have no choice but to team up to take Roman down. Ooh. All right, so this is a newer movie. This is also a DC movie. It also stars Margot Robbie.
And it's a woman director, too.
It's a female director, or should we say it's woman director, right?
Yeah, woman, lady.
Woman, not female. You don't say female. You say woman, right? Because female is gendering.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's a woman director.
It's a woman director.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
there's-
good.
I think there's other women that were working on it too, that, like behind the scenes and
Like, yeah,
the
does it have
the not just the cast but the crew too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So DC movies are pretty hit and miss
Yeah.
recently, but this one's actually really good.
I like it.
You love it. You've
my
been watching
jam.
it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. So usually come 11 o'clock or so, the dudes go to bed and you're usually either asleep or almost there.
Getting there.
And so I'm just like, meh. And so I'll just turn that on. It is the best female. I don't know. It's like a female feel good kind of. I like it.
Yeah.
My favorite part is when Margot Robbie does the giggle, the Harley Quinn giggle.
Yeah.
Oh my, I don't know. I don't know why, but the little girl in me is like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't been a big, huge fan my whole life of the villains
Right.
of certain things, like Joker and I guess Zod for like Superman.
Yeah.
But I'm not really in, like, I try to follow the whole, here's the hero and here's the bad guy. But I don't know, lately I'm into the Joker, the
Right.
movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm into that one.
Oh, yeah.
And now this one, I like it.
Oh, I almost forgot about the Joker. Joker's really good too.
I know that's on my top 10. I just couldn't put it above these ones.
I also think that the new Batman that they just released the teaser trailer
Don't
for.
even get me. How many times have we watched the trailer now?
yeah.
I think we're working on double digits of
Yeah,
it.
I think that's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
I really like this movie too. I think Birds of Prey is one of the better DC movies in a long time. I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Love it.
I think Margot Robbie's generally a good actress.
Yeah. She was good in the Tarantino.
Oh,
Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that why she's perfect casting for this is because Harley Quinn is kind of like this character who's, you know, adult and beautiful and professional, but she's got this kind of like side to her, right?
Right.
And Margot Robbie kind of embodies that a little
And
bit.
that's kind of what makes me feel good about it is because I'm not all girly.
Right.
And I'm not all, I'm not a dude really, but I've got those in-between pieces of me that I like. It's like
Yeah.
my little comfort zone, the way she is.
Right.
And the way she goes in and out of them. I love that. Where she
Yeah.
can be super girly and giggly and like offer a hair tie, but then at the same time she's kicking villains' butts and stuff. I like it.
But she also has the hyena.
Yeah, she's
Right.
yeah. So
You
it's
like animals. You're a big animal.
yeah, I like it. She's got this sweet little soft spot, but then on the outside she's rough and tough and tattooed, and I dig it.
Yeah, she's awesome. All right. So that was your number one.
And that's my number one.
So to my number one.
Okay.
And this is the final one. And then we have a bonus that's our number one together.
Okay.
Our number one favorite movie as a couple. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So my number one movie. What do you think? I want you to guess.
I
what you
don't
think
know.
it
I'm
is.
scared. I'm gonna go with Music of the Heart, just to line it all up. As in, I'm the dude, and you've got the girl chick flicks.
Not Music of the Heart.
Okay, all right.
But that is a. Oh,
I still remember. It was like decades ago.
Yeah.
I came in the room and you were upset, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? Are you okay? You're like, this movie. She's just so awesome. I'm like, what is happening here?
yeah. I started crying 2 or 3 minutes into the movie. I was home alone. You were at the store, and I just started crying into the movie, and then I just kept crying, like thing after thing after thing, kept like hitting
Meryl
that
Streep
emotional.
gets you.
Yeah, Meryl Streep is so wonderful. But that movie, she plays this music teacher who is just, I don't know, maybe it should have been on my top 6
It
list.
should have been right.
It's so good.
She's was it a true story?
Yes, it's based on a real.
Who this
Music
this
teacher.
lady, she just wouldn't give up.
Yeah.
Her mission in life was to teach kids music,
Yep.
come hell or high water.
Yep.
To anyone and everyone who wanted to be there.
Yeah.
She was making it possible.
Yeah.
I think that's a great message. But to come in and see my very capable husband like upset about a movie, it threw me for a loop.
It got me right in the feels. I've watched it several times since, and every single time does the exact same thing to me. I just can't I'm just like,
You can't shake it.
oh my God. No,
It was-
do it. You can teach these kids anything they want. Like,
It was the big fish cry before Big Fish.
well,
That's when it was.
I never got to the full sobbing like I do with Big Fish. So Big Fish cry is a full sob. A real Music of the Heart situation is when I cry throughout the whole movie.
Okay.
Like-
There's differences.
Like Onward is a real Music of the Heart situation for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Inside Out, real Music of the Heart situation for me. But The Lion King, Big Fish cry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've told people a little bit too much about me.
It's so cute.
All right. So my real number one,
Okay.
the thing that I actually chose,
Okay.
Tommy Boy.
Oh yeah, Tommy Boy.
Yeah. So Tommy Boy came out in 1995, and this is the IMDb. After his auto parts tycoon father dies, the overweight, underachieving son teams up with a snide accountant to try and save the family business.
That's it.
Okay. Tommy Callahan Jr. is a slow-witted, clumsy guy who recently graduated college after attending for 7 years. His father, Big Tom Callahan, owns an auto parts factory in Ohio. When Tommy arrives back home, he finds he has a position at the factory waiting for him. His dad also introduces Tommy to the new brake pad division of the factory and to Tommy's soon-to-be stepmother, Beverly, and her son Paul. But when Big Tom dies, the factory threatens to go under unless the new brake pads are to be sold. Therefore, Tommy must go on the road to sell them, along with the assistance of Richard, Big Tom's right-hand man. Will Tommy save the company, or will the factory and the town go under? I didn't read any of these beforehand. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to go on to IMDb now and fix that one.
Yeah.
So
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley,
Amazing.
he was the first time that a celebrity died, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
And like, I
Big Fish cried.
fell apart. I big fish cried. Yeah, because I don't know what it is. You know how sometimes, and I think this is why some people become celebrities, but sometimes you feel a connection with a celebrity. Like, if I met them, we'd be close friends quick.
Yes.
And that's a little stalkery to say, but I felt like
a lot of people feel that connection to
Yeah.
celebrities. That's why they are celebrities.
that's why they become popular and
Yeah,
famous.
because we can feel like we're living through them almost,
little
and
bit,
vice
yeah.
versa kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Where we're connected to them.
Yeah, he was very important to me and my like humor and
Yeah.
you know, watching him on Saturday Night Live, and you know when he died it was awful. But Tommy Boy, I believe Tommy Boy is the best comedy movie ever made,
Ooh.
hands down.
I'll go with that. I approve of that.
It has everything that a
Yes.
comedy movie needs. Has all the right beats. It's wonderfully written.
Yeah.
It's wonderfully performed. It has your
Love.
down. It has love. It has
Betrayal.
betrayal. It has down in the dumps, right?
Yeah.
It has a
the
rise to
from the
top.
ashes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. The comeback.
It's so good.
Yes.
And the part towards the end when he sells, well, I don't want to give it away, but there's a part where he
It's from 1995. I think you can give
okay.
it away.
He sells the brake pads in a kind of like a trick move.
Yeah.
And the people back at the factory get so excited, and the one guy's like, he probably sold 500,000 brake pads, and that gives me the chills
Yeah.
every time.
Yes, because he was rooting. They were all
Yeah.
rooting for him because he had grown up
Right.
from as a little kid in this factory life.
Yeah.
While his dad's been has been in charge.
And it's got that standard like man-child grows up
Yeah.
a thing that like I think Sandler does a lot
Yep.
and Farley did a lot.
Yep.
Will Ferrell even does kind of that.
Yeah.
But I
there's
think there was-
nobody better than
think
Chris
there's-
Farley and David Spade.
Yeah.
There's no better duo.
They were a really wonderful duo.
Yeah.
There was more maturity to that movie than say like Billy Madison or, you know, Happy Gilmore, which are
Yeah.
very similar and came around around the same time.
Yeah.
There's heart there.
Yes.
It's not just like a rich man child learning to grow up because he wants to get a girl's attention. There is a girl there that he wants the attention from, but that's not what the story's about. It's not him changing for her as much as it's him changing to save his dad's company.
Yeah.
And to save all those people.
Yeah, because he cared about all those people.
Oh boy.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Approved. I agree.
Yeah, it's really great.
Lovely.
It's a wonderful movie. All right. So our number one movie together.
Okay.
Like we talked about this a little bit ahead of time, and I said, "Oh, maybe it's The Matrix or The Wedding Singer."
Which I love.
Right, we both love those movies a lot. But then when I was finalizing the list today, I was like, "Oh," and I texted you. I said, "Isn't it Shaun of the Dead?"
It is Shaun of the Dead.
100%
It is.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yep.
So Shaun of the Dead is 2004. It is the movie that you and I watch every year on Valentine's Day.
Because we're a little bit freaks.
Right. It's our Valentine's movie that we watch together.
Our anti-Valentine's movie.
Anti-Valentine's movie. And there's been other movies that we like that are in the similar vein, like Warm Bodies was very good.
Yeah.
But Shaun of the Dead is the one we keep coming back to. And we like the other movies in that Cornetto trilogy as well, but Shaun of the Dead
yeah.
is the pinnacle.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost come very close to a David Spade, Chris Farley duo.
They do, yeah.
because they're magic together, because
They are
they're
magic.
friends
Yeah.
on and off screen, which I love.
I think that's important. I think that
you have to start with friends
Yeah.
and best friends first, and then
with everything,
and then you can go to the next levels of
Yeah.
of friendship or partnership. I think that's great.
I do too. So a man's uneventful life is disrupted by the zombie apocalypse.
Love it.
That is so short. Sean is a 30-something loser with a dull, easy existence. When he's not working at the electronics store, he lives with his slovenly best friend, Ed, in a small flat on the outskirts of London. The only unpredictable element in his life is his girlfriend, Liz, who wishes desperately for Sean to grow up and be a man. When the town is inexplicably overrun with zombies, Sean must rise to the occasion and protect both Liz and his mother.
Yeah.
So this is one of the first, it's not the first, but I think it's one of the most well done mashup movies of all time, right? You're taking the horror genre, which is zombies,
Yeah.
and mashing it up with comedy.
Yeah.
And even though there are some very violent and gore-filled moments in this movie, the comedy kind of just softens that blow.
Yes.
I think it's a wonderful film. I think that I could watch it every single day and never get tired of it. Mm-hmm. It's just everything about it. Edgar Wright's directing and the way that he puts together comedy
Yeah.
is so good, right? So it's a wonderful movie. I will watch it every Valentine's Day with you.
So Nick Frost is like a big burly dude, but
Yeah.
he's just so funny.
Right.
Because he can switch from being slapstick kind of comedy guy and then really sweet, tender-hearted.
Yeah.
And that just makes for a great on-screen experience when you're watching, because he cares for his best friend.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of like not a screw up, but he's just, he doesn't find it all very responsible of a line to walk. And he's just, it's funny.
Yeah, it's a very
So
funny
funny.
movie. It's a very funny movie.
It's gruesome and I
Yeah.
like it, but it's just funny also.
Yeah.
And it has like some warm kind of moments and you're like, oh, but then you realize,
Yeah.
and the music is good in it. They put a good music.
Yes.
It's got Queen in there. It's my favorite part is the part where they find where the beginning is starting to happen. And they find this girl in their backyard garden area. And they're like, what is this lady doing? And she's zombified or whatever. And they start throwing things at her.
Yeah.
And she's just growling or whatever. But then they start throwing records, and he goes, Ed is naming records, and Sean goes, oh, not that one. And so he puts that one back, and then he gets another one out, and he names it. I forget what it was, and he's like, oh yeah, throw that one. So they're throwing them at her,
Yeah.
and all the while she's getting closer and closer.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
It's a very funny movie. I love that movie.
We have to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's just one of those things where we're like, yeah, we've seen it a million times now, but it's just great.
It is really wonderful.
Even when you know what's coming, it's still perfect.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that there's nothing like, there's no weird beats where you're like, oh, I don't like this part of the movie. It's just all the way through. It's really good. So that's it. That's our whole list.
Ta-da! We did it.
6 through 1 for each of us, plus a bonus. How did you feel about this? Were you surprised by any of my choices?
No, I wasn't surprised by any of yours. I was
Not even Pitch Perfect?
well, okay, that one like surprised me a little bit, but I already know you, and I'd go, of course it is, because you like to throw a little brick into my step there.
Well, I am an outlaw, after all.
Yes, you are. Were you surprised by any of mine?
I was not surprised by any of yours. Well, maybe Return of the Jedi.
Really?
If you if you were gonna put a Star Wars movie, I would have guessed, a different Star Wars movie like Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One
And I know
great.
that Rogue One isn't like part of the trilogy segments. It's not a prequel or a sequel or part of the original, but it is a really good Star Wars movie.
It is really good. With a trilogy or with like a set of movies, you can't. I like the whole Star Wars universe. I like that universe a lot. That's really cool, and it's very close to my jam. But if I have to pick one, I like the
Yeah. No, I get it.
the wrapping it all up and
Yeah.
finding love and
Yeah, I totally understand.
finding some peace to it all. I know it.
That's the only one that I would say that I would be surprised about. I'm absolutely, completely unsurprised by Birds of Prey because you have literally been watching it every night for a week. It's a fun movie. I'm not getting tired of hearing it or
It's good.
as I'm falling asleep.
The soundtrack is really great too.
The soundtrack is great. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's an overall really fun
Yeah.
movie. It's like I thought about putting Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that's a good one too, because it kind of doesn't follow the rest of them.
Yeah, it's kind of just a fun, like it took Thor from being like I guess I have to watch this so I understand Infinity War
Yeah.
to being like, that's my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it when directors or the crew of movies puts together a thing where it's not normally done that way.
Right.
Like when you break the fourth wall and the character talks or looks directly at you, like,
Yeah.
ugh. I love those moments because they don't happen in every movie.
Oh, I should have put Clue on here.
Clue. Oh my! What year was that?
Oh, I don't remember, but
Oh
Clue
my
is one of those
gosh.
movies I'll watch over and over again
Clue.
because, oh God, it's so good. It's one of those movies
It's
where,
from 1985.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Tim
It's
Curry.
with Tim Curry,
Yeah,
Madeline Kahn,
yeah, it's
Leslie
really
Ann
good.
Warren, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
you've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it
Yeah.
several times now.
Yeah.
Were they supposed to be bad acting a little bit, just a little bit?
I think it was supposed to like they
be
were
very campy. and
campy. Yeah, I mean
Goodness. Michael
it's a
McKean.
movie based on a board game,
I guess.
but it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. I love that movie.
It's from 1985.
Yeah, I wish I'd have remembered that. Here's the thing: I've seen so many movies.
Yeah.
In my life, we own over 700 DVDs
Yeah.
because we love movies.
We've been
right? As
collecting them for a
family.
long time
Yeah.
too, though.
And so when I went to make this list, I was like,
There's so many.
"There's so many." Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is like for right now, this is my top 6,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it can change.
Yeah, and
Subject to change.
I don't know. It's just what I could watch over and over and over again for me
Yeah.
right now. Is what I'm.
Well, that's what it was all about. So I think this is going to be a fun episode at least. I
Okay.
wanted to do something that was like less heavy because the last 2 episodes were kind of heavier
yeah.
topics. And
Yeah.
so, maybe we'll do this again with like books or video games or board games or
Shows.
TV. Yeah, we should
yeah.
do a TV one.
Yeah.
TV one.
Yep. TV one.
Definitely a TV one.
That sounds like a good one.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
The Lou and Me podcast is a Matthias Source production. The song is No Carpets by the New Forevers. Produced and edited by Moose. Hosted by Lou and me.
Thanks for listening.